Welcome to the channel. I'm Nathan. This is Hallway Ski Reviews. Today we're going to be looking at the MEIER WRANGLER, which is a 94 underfoot ski. It's priced at about $895, and right now you can actually get it for $715 on sale. MEIER Skis is a Denver, Colorado small, handmade skis, which is really cool. They, what do they call it? The MEIER Craft Skiery is where they make the skis, which is kind of cool. These do come with a 3-year warranty, which is more than most. I think most companies do 1 or 2 years, so a 3-year warranty on a handmade ski is pretty cool. They also do, kind of a unique thing that they do, custom top sheets, so you can work with a one of their artists and come up with a custom top sheet for yourself and pick the ski and then pick your own graphic for the ski and have them make it up right there in their shop in Denver. So let's get into shape and all the details. So shape is a unique thing. They have a fair bit of camber, but they also have kind of a fun early rocker shape where the rocker starts all the way down here and it's a low rocker and then more splay towards the ends, which is kind of reminiscent of, something like Vocal is doing that with a lot of their skis right now. They do this like long, low, early rocker and then more splay towards the tips. So it's not, MEIER's not the only company doing it, but it is a cool, unique way to build a ski. And then a fair bit of camber underfoot, which is kind of hard to tell because it's squishing it, but it has, a little bit. And then the tails, you got about, 3.5 inches. Yeah, 3.5, 4 inches of rocker in the tail, which is fairly average for this size width ski. As far as shape and flex, it's got a, I would say, medium flex and a little softer in the tips than the tails. This guy does have fairly strong tails. Turn radius for this 180, which is the one I skied, is a 16-meter turn radius, and I would say it, skied true to size. It's, I think they listed it as 18 or 1850 for this. I did ski it with a Tyrolia demo binding, so it did feel, a bit hefty to me, but, most of that's probably from the binding. There's, a pound or a pound and a half that you're adding to a ski with a demo binding, which is a lot when you're talking about skis, and you feel that on the hill, especially when you're doing, more dynamic, quicker, mogul skiing or something like that. Not so much on skiing, on piste or, in the powder, you don't feel it as much, but you definitely feel the heft when you're sitting on the chair. But all that aside, despite the heavier binding that I skied it with, this was a pretty maneuverable ski. It holds an edge very well on piste. It does have a strong feeling tail, so you do have to have good technique, forward pressure on the ski anytime you want to turn. Otherwise, the tail does feel kind of catchy and grabby. But, in conditions where you really need the edge grip, this is a solid ski for, getting the edge grip that you need and not, skidding out and just like missing your turns. So it's pretty nice as long as you're, at least an intermediate skier, and, I would say, upper intermediate is kind of the starting point, just because of the tails being a little catchier and a little stronger. My initial thoughts for this ski before I skied it, I was pretty excited about it. Just, the overall shape of the ski and the weight, and, I've never skied a MEIER ski before, so this was the first one, and I was pretty excited about it. And it really didn't disappoint. It's very damp. I tend to, I like skis that I don't feel the vibration all the way up through my knees and my body, and this ski is definitely there. It's very damp for, a sub 1900 gram ski, which is pretty amazing. Some of that might have to do with the heavier binding, but I would say that most of that is due to the build and the wood that was used, and possibly even the shape. Sometimes that like early rocker can kind of, float over top of things a little better, and you don't feel the vibration quite as much as you would with something that, ran into it at a, like if this was flat here and this was the start of your rocker, you'd feel every bump, running it into it. But because of that early rocker, it kind of planes over things a little better, which is very cool and very unique. I definitely enjoyed that. I did find myself skiing faster and pointing it a bit more, but the ski does turn really well, a 16-meter turn radius, and you can find it. It's not the hardest ski to bend, but you definitely have to, have good ski technique and be willing to tip it over and trust it. I did not really find a speed limit for this guy. I was able to go top to bottom at my local mountain without turning, just, bare minimum turning, just carving down the hill, and no issues whatsoever with dampness. Thing's kind of a rocket for how light it is. I skied this in very firm icy conditions, and it did pretty good for that. I skied it in 12 inches of fresh snow, and I enjoyed that. It actually floats very well for a 9,400 foot ski, and had no problems with that depth of snow. The 12 inches that I skied was our maritime goo that we get out here in the Seattle area, and it was heavier, so maybe in softer, fluffier eastern snow, or I don't know, Colorado even, maybe it's not going to float quite as well, but I would imagine it does just fine. That rocker shape is pretty darn good for getting up and over things and floating. The tail is not forgiving, but the ski, as far as dampness, is very forgiving. So for a skier who has good forward pressure on a ski, is able to get over the front of the ski when they're turning, and gets light on their feet on their turns, this is a excellent choice. It would be a great do-all ski, take it anywhere ski, not sure of the conditions ski. This thing would be great for any of those scenarios, or even a one ski quiver. It floats well enough for just about any of our snows out here, and then it also carves on piste and does really well. It doesn't beat you up. It doesn't, it's not super tiring like some skis. Some skis, they feel kind of unwieldy, and like pushing them around and turning them all day, your legs and your knees and your ankles and everything gets tired, and you just kind of feel worn out. And this ski doesn't do that. It hits this nice in-between mix of good carving performance, good float, good off-piste skiing. It just does really well kind of all over the mountain. Obviously that's a lot of good things to say about this. The things that might make you not want this ski would be, maybe the price tag. There's other skis out there that you can pick up for, $650, $750, and sometimes even cheaper, but these guys are $900 for a set of skis. that's not that cheap. But they are on sale right now, so now would be a good time to grab them if you're interested. Trying to think of places that I struggled on the mountain with this. I did struggle in tighter moguls. Anytime it was firm, tight moguls, that kind of catchy tail, you got to be pretty quick snapping back and forth, and you know, having good forward pressure and getting your skis up and over the next bump and getting ready for the next one. I did struggle a little bit on the firmer moguls and getting the tails to release and kind of let me, you know, come into the next turn. But you know, if you're a upper intermediate or even expert skier, you know, if you're an expert skier and know how to ski moguls well, you might not even notice that, and it's nothing but a benefit for you. I did notice it, and you know, it's something worth thinking about. There's a lot of other skis out there that are easier to kind of slip and slide through moguls that don't, you know, bite into it, but the edge grip of this is really dependable, and I found it just really nice to know it was there, that, you know, if I wanted to push into the edges and kind of snap my turnaround, it was really responsive and there the moment I decided to get those tails involved, and it's really, really fun. I don't know that there was any particular place that this stood out as a, you know, a ski that has preferences to one place or another. A lot of skis have a place where they excel at, and then they do pretty good in other conditions and maybe not as good in some. This ski did do well in just about all of those conditions. I didn't ski it in any conditions that I disliked it. It did really well in every condition that I skied it in, and I put 4 or 5 partial days in on this ski, and it was a total blast. So if you're looking for a ski that you can ski all over the mountain, that does, you know, turns well on piste, that can be skied through the moguls, that floats decently well, that, you know, you can do short-ish turns on, and you can go very fast and do long sweeping, you know, kind of GS turns on, this is an excellent option. It's very damp, and it does extremely well at high speed and charging through bumps. Like, you can just absolutely mash through bumps with this thing, and it's a blast. It's almost laughable, because you're kind of going through it thinking, oh, this is a lightweight ski, and it just plows through anything you point it at. So super duper fun. I'm gonna add into my reviews, I'm gonna start doing what I'm gonna call the circle test. And down at the bottom of my mountain, there's kind of this little bowl area right down at the end, and hopefully I'll get some footage of that to add into this video. But this ski, I wasn't able to get a full 360-degree circle, carving circle on it. It just needs more speed to bend the tips enough to kind of come around in the area that I was doing it on, and I couldn't quite get the full circle. But that's not that big of a surprise, because, you know, it tends to take a little shorter radius or a softer ski to kind of get that circle test. But I think it's fun. I think adding that into this and, you know, doing that in these reviews kind of adds a fun scenario to it, and hopefully I'll get that in this video and you guys can see it and, you know, laugh with me. So anyway, this is Nathan, Hallway Ski Reviews. Like and subscribe below, and let me know if you have any comments or questions about it, and I'll see you on the next one.